Okay, so to start off here, I converted the resume that was submitted to the correct format that was provided in the Google Docs. I made a few changes ahead of time just to, keep this whole thing under 5 minutes. Some of the changes I made initially, I made one slight formatting change where in between the job listings, I actually increased the spacing to 3 points so that it helped the jobs without creating too much space in between them. It helped sort of differentiate them or help them kind of stand out from each other a little bit more. Otherwise, everything else is completely to the formatting of the original resume. The other bits that I kind of took a little bit of, I guess, freedom with is the listing the Microsoft Excel, Office Suite, and Google, Facebook, and Twitter analytics under technical skills. While these may be considered technical skills, the Google, Facebook, Twitter analytics might not necessarily be considered a technical skill. However, it falls under the umbrella. I've seen it listed there before, and for this particular position, which is looking for specifically Google, Facebook analytics, I think it's important that I moved the that skill set down to technical skills so it didn't blend in with the rest of the core competencies. So I guess to begin here, I will go over what kind of changes I would make to the opening statement, specifically regarding the checklist that was provided. But the first thing I would do is, of course, there's no quantification of how much product developer experience. So I would actually probably even just remove the accomplished product developer, capitalize it there. So we'll go with product developer. With, what is it, we have our first experience down here in 2014 where they're doing product development. So we'll say 8 years of experience with passion for innovation, learning, and leadership. So I would actually get rid of, to synthesize this, I would get rid of the term leadership because the role that they're looking for seems to be, it's an associate project manager. So while leadership is an important quality, it seems as if they're more focused on the innovation, learning, handling the delegation of responsibility, and of course there's some team management in there, but that's implied in a lot of the rest of the language that's used. So I think it's more important that it's emphasized the passion for innovation and learning, which is typically what startups tend to care a little bit more about by and large. And it seems that in the job description they follow suit with most startups I'm familiar with. And then I would move on to the next sentence. So we want to keep it under 3 sentences. Which it looks like it currently is under 3. No, there are 4 sentences. There's 3 sentences. All right, so we're already good, but there's a few more changes I would make. So I would change started to, I would say, launched. Just as a little bit stronger language, and startups because this is a startup, so it's very likely they'll be looking up, for startup experience. That could be a keyword search. So I think it's better to have, company or startup rather than company listed just for that search function. Oh, here's the extra hidden sentence. So I would actually keep this, but move it to the end. I think the fact that this person has a patent is quite interesting and could create some fodder for the, interview that they will earn from this absolutely amazing resume. So we'll put that towards the end and probably blend it in with another sentence. In fact, you know what? Let's just take the entire sentence here, the launch to successful startups, and move that down here. We'll revisit that sentence. So then my background is diverse with significant industry experience in product creation, marketing, and business development. So I would break this down and just reduce it to a diverse, let's see, a diverse background, get rid of the comma, with significant industry experience in product creation, marketing, and business development. So I think right off the bat, they're looking for, specifically the job description says product development. So let's change that creation to development. And in fact, we can actually just lump business development in. So we'll say in business and product development. So this phrase will also be more likely to pop up in search, but we will have the benefit of including business development a little bit smoother. So we get 4 things for essentially the price of 3. So marketing will keep, as that's pretty extensive experience, but not very, not super pertinent to the position this person's applying for, so we'll keep it in the middle. And then we'll want to leave the employer with, something a little more relevant, something you see in their history that's not explicitly stated really, is team management, although I suppose it will be stated in this position right here. And then let's see, this last sentence here. You know what? I think it makes more sense if we reverse this. So we'll have creator of US patent who launched 2 successful startups. And that is the sentence that will hopefully get employers and recruiters asking some interesting questions and, set this person apart from the rest of the applicants. So then moving down, we made a few changes. Another one I want to point out too is this person said that they had, the job awards bonus points to someone who, is fluent in Chinese. However, this person had made it very clear that they were not fluent, but they've made some effort to learn Chinese. So I give them the benefit of the doubt and put their experience as limited working proficiency of Chinese language. Let's see, Chinese language. So that this person will, pop up on the radar as somebody who is, currently actively learning Chinese, which is obviously a huge, benefit for this position, but doesn't necessarily hold them to the standard of, fluency, which is unrealistic according to the, applicant's own words. So moving up to the, job description, I will add several more bullet points. I think one of the main things, so looking over, I want to add some, I want to synthesize the paragraph that they wrote in the questionnaire into something a little more interesting. So we're going to go with, what are the most important skills they have? Assists product manager in new product launches, which is pretty key for the position they're applying for. Next, I think we'll mention their, towards the end where they mentioned the building out like processes, so builds out process and project tracking documentation, and I think we can lump pitch decks in there as well. So it's all things that they can build. And then another key element is recruits new team members, which is pretty key for the position they're applying for, as it's one of the elements, specifically with the marketing team. Performs market trend research, just to rephrase and make it a little smoother. And then we'll have organizes employee engagement, events. And we won't name the specific event because we want the potential interviewer to give them again more fodder to talk to this person about during the interview. So we'll just say they were a top performer in a recent quarter. And then I think one more bullet point should really flesh it out. We'll talk about the fundraiser success, which is probably the least relevant but still quite interesting, and obviously was a sizable. Something they would consider a huge achievement in that position, or a top achievement. So we'll say organizes fundraisers with past success, raised over $2,000. Let's see, in a single day for a volunteer cause. And again, we won't list out what that cause is because I want the employer to reach out to them and ask them about it. We want to, obviously we want the employer to, obviously this person is I would argue overqualified for the position they're applying for. So in that case, I want to focus on some of the elements that might make this person particularly interesting for the interviewer to talk to about the role. So those are some of the more major changes. Before launching the video, I made a few other, changes to some of the language. So I didn't transfer it over verbatim. Obviously, some of the things I did were removing the periods at the end of the sentence and, restructure all of the information so that it fits the format, as well as kind of changing out some of the language. Notice that I kept the language present tense up here, as this is the job that they are currently in, whereas everything else is past tense, and making sure that it's sticking to past tense. And then I also deleted a few of the less relevant elements of the autogear position, which is obviously quite interesting, but we want to really try and focus a little bit more on the positions up that are more relevant to the one that this person is applying for. So yeah, those are the major changes that I made, and thank you very much.